From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a huge night for June 22nd, 2022, as the President of the United States announces a relief at the pump with a gas tax holiday proposed. I'll go over the breaking news happening minutes ago. Jay Powell testified on Capitol Hill and explains a financial cliff is coming. And meantime, Republicans now believe that inflation may be the biggest problem of this economy. That is it the gasoline. All the latest analysis, the breaking news tonight. Financial cliff could potentially be coming as Jay Powell gives that warning on Capitol Hill. Benefits checks are going up. Thank goodness. I got those big checks for you late in this recording. What else do I have for you? A fourth stimulus check, baby, in every U.S. state. $80,000 fourth stimulus checks landing by direct deposit. And you are going to get them in the second half of this video. Stay to the very end. Stock market crash continue to get some relief to this week as the market is rebounding a little bit, but it's not coming back from the bottom. Housing market crash continues to unravel, and the unemployment surges dramatically. What will we see tomorrow when those new unemployment numbers are released? We'll be going over the latest details of where this economy is, where it's headed, and where those big fourth stimulus checks are for you tonight. How do you get those incredible fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state? Step 1, go under this video. Step 2, become a member. And stay with me over the second half of this video. We're going to go over those incredible checks in every U.S. state. But tonight, there's a lot of other issues at hand. The issues are the downward spiral of this economy between now and September, and then the worsening in September to January. The recession of January to 2024. But tonight, Jay Powell warning that a financial cliff could be coming sooner. And that a financial cliff was the result of questioning by Liz Warren. Now, the analysis of that tonight will go over why Joe Biden's proposal for gasoline is not going to give you the relief in this phase 1 into phase 2. And then we'll go over the importance of getting stimulus checks tonight. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, tonight. By becoming a member, going under this video, subscribing, and getting those huge checks and preparing your family for the financial downfall of this economy in the next few weeks. It's a big broadcast to the very end because new member benefits are announced later in this recording. Congratulations if you're a member because new benefits are coming to you. It's Evenings LA, and it starts right now. And good evening, everybody. It's June 22nd, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. If there was ever a night to become a member, it's tonight because the President of the United States addressed a situation which is very troubling in the U.S. economy minutes ago, and his comments were really out to left field. We'll be going over his comments in just a second. You need to become a member and get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's coming up later in this recording. Do you want $80,000 checks? Are you on benefits? Are you on SSI and SSDI? Are you a renter or a homeowner or making less than $70,000 a year? If you have children or don't have children, you go get this money. How do you do it? You stay to the very end of this recording. You become a member. You go right on this video and you subscribe. That's why there's thousands of members that are getting these checks. They've been lost since May of this year. March of this year. And they're huge. But tonight we start with another story, and it happened minutes ago. That story that happened minutes ago was the announcement of an oil proposal from Joseph Biden. It's not a law, it's a proposal because he needs Congress to pass it. And what did he announce? How are you? I hope you're having a beautiful evening. The President of the United States just minutes ago in the Oval House office announced he wants to do a tax holiday on gasoline at the pump. He wants to forgive or not have any federal tax on your gasoline at the pump for 90 days. And he believes this is going to give you a relief. Let's go over his comments minutes ago. He said that the American worker, that was the expression he used, needs a little bit of breathing room right now. And the way he's going to give you that breathing room is giving you a relief from having to pay taxes at the pump, federal taxes, on the gasoline you pay. Great idea? I don't think in the 2 years of recording I've seen something more ridiculous than the announcement of the president with this. This is really ridiculous. Now, there's something that Americans know. It's their wallet. Americans know their wallet. You don't go buy toilet paper at Neiman Marcus. You don't go buy plastic plates at Saks Fifth Avenue. People know how to spend their money, and they know when their money costs more money. When you're at the pump in the last year, the gasoline has gone up $1.83 a gallon on average. So when you go to fill up at the pump in the last year, gasoline has gone up $1.83. In many cases, gone up $3 a gallon. That's a gallon. The average car has $10, 10 gallons in there. Many cars have 15, 20 gallons. How many gallons do you have in your car? Post on the live chat right now. The President of the United States is announcing that he wants to save you on the taxes you pay at the pump. How much? 18 cents a gallon. He wants to save you 18 cents a gallon. So if your car has 10 gallons, he wants to save you $1.80 every time you pump up. And he says this is a little breathing room for the American people, for the American worker when they need it. I'm sorry, I don't breathe at $1.84. I'm paying $130 to fill up my tank, $3 more a gallon, $3 more per gallon. If the gallon is 20 gallons, it's $60 more every time I fill it up, and you're giving me $1? $1, and you're having this in a press conference as though this is a big achievement. I want to help the American people, giving them a lot of breathing room for the American worker by giving you $1 off at how much you pay at the pump when you're paying $100 at the pump. It's that type of ridiculous that really bothers me. And it's that type of ridiculous of why you got to get a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. There's two parts of this equation that are very troubling tonight. And I don't think ever in the history of this 2 years of recording have I heard anything so ridiculous, except maybe when Brady said, I'll give you money for stimulus if you get back to work. Or Mitch, when he used to take economic data in reverse and say it said something opposite. Tonight, the comment of the White House shows that Joe Biden has no grasp of the situation of gasoline. He thinks that saving you $1 at the pump every time you fill up is going to give you a lot of breathing room for the American worker. First, why is it just the American worker? There's seniors that are struggling at the pump. Number two, what the world is $1, Joe? It's ridiculous. Now, notice when he had the press conference, he didn't say 18 cents, and he didn't say how much that equates to. It equates to $1.84 if your gas pump, if your tank is a $10-gallon gas tank. Ridiculous. Really ridiculous. Tonight, the ridiculous is not just in the White House. It's also in the Congress. It's also at Jay Powell. And in a night in which the show feels like a reality TV show, the only voice of reason came from, guess who? You know who it is. Liz Warren. Liz Warren had the only voice of reason today, in a day in which there was pure nonsense coming out of everyone's mouth. First, Joseph Biden said that he is dealing with the gasoline situation, and what did he repeat? Something he did 3 months ago that's not working. He said his way to solve the situation of gasoline is is all the release of gasoline from the strategic reserves he did 3 months ago, which is not working. So when something's not working, what do? You mention it again and say you're really dealing with a situation where something is not working. He's released 1 million barrels a day for the next 6 months, brings you into September, and that's not working. It hasn't worked since day one. In fact, the day he announced it, gasoline went to its highest price level of a generation. Tonight he talked about success story. It's not a success story. He also brought all the oil executives into the White House today to parade them and say they're the root of the problem. They're not the root of the problem. The root of the problem tonight, and we're going to analyze it starting right now, is gasoline. And the only person who can get the gasoline for the Western allies is the Chancellor of Germany, the President of France, the President of the United States, and the Prime Minister of Italy. And these Western ally countries' leaders are absolutely doing an atrocious job and should not be in office if they do not understand what they're doing. Democrats and Republicans are both irate with these parties because they don't understand the concept of why this is falling out of control. Let's go over how gasoline works and understand why the situation continues to roll higher. The way the gasoline is hitting this economy is the following equation. First, if gasoline goes higher, then what happens after that is that the a CPI goes higher. And if the CPI goes higher, then what happens thereafter is your Federal Reserve raises interest rates. Gasoline is the root of all these problems, and until you solve the gasoline situation, you're not going to have a solution across the board. What does the White House have to do? What does the Western allies have to do? Get 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day right now, bought from Venezuela, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, OPEC Plus, or Iran. If the Western allies do not get those missing oil barrels replaced, then we go in recession. And I already gave this warning back in the month of March. This has been a problem for months. We're heading into the month of July, and folks, there's no solution from the White House. There's no solution from the Western allies. How bad is the situation tonight, is it? In the case of the Western allies, like Italy, they're now warning that they could be actually in recession tonight. That's why the situation is so dire. They could bring us into recession even earlier than I predicted for you. Let's go over the analysis of why the comments from the White House tonight are so scary, and why the president's lack of grasp of the facts are not alone. Congress is really out to left field, and so is Jay Powell. The president of the United States continues to parade the story of gas situation with ExxonMobil and the U.S. oil producers. They don't have 3.5 million barrels of gasoline able to produce out of the pumps or the grounds per day. The only countries that do are Venezuela, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Iran and Iraq. And if you don't get the gasoline from there, you don't solve the missing 3.5 million barrels of gasoline. With that missing gasoline, the price of gasoline goes higher. If the price of gasoline goes higher, then the CPI, the Consumer Price Index number, the inflationary number, goes higher. And if that goes higher, Jay Powell raises your interest rates. And you go in recession. What is the president's narrative? I've done something. You have done something that hasn't worked, Joe Biden. You released the strategic reserves. It did not work. No one thought it worked day one you announced it. What has he also done? Go after the oil executives. Hasn't worked. In fact, they don't have 3.5 million barrels of gasoline for you. And tonight he's giving you $1.82 every time you fill up the tank off on how much you pump. Now remember, it's not a law yet, it's a proposal. Will Congress do it? I don't know if Congress even has their head screwed on. Tonight we have Congress reacting to Jay Powell, and their comments were about as ridiculous as Joe Biden's comments. And I'm not just talking about Democrats, I'm also talking about Republicans. We have the latest comments tonight from Jay Powell's comments on Capitol Hill, and the reaction is where it gets bizarre. The reaction came in from both Republicans, Democrats, and their comments to Jay Powell were really exemplary, that they have no idea what's going on with this economy. Congress can give you relief if they understand that if gasoline goes higher, then inflation goes higher, and if inflation goes higher, we go in recession. Does Congress understand that? They apparently don't understand that either, because minutes ago, we had the transcript of what happened when Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, testified on Capitol Hill minutes earlier today. He appeared before the Senate Banking Committee with Liz Warren. And in a week in which we've seen pure nonsense come out of Janet Yellen's mouth, Joe Biden's mouth, Jay Powell's mouth, and even Congress, Republicans and Democrats, the only non-nonsense was finally from Liz Warren. Jay Powell did exactly what I told you he was going to do. He said he's getting interest rates down, inflationary rates down to 2% by the end of the year. Ridiculous. He's not. At the Federal Reserve, we understand the hardship high inflation is causing. We're strongly committed to bringing inflation back down, and we're moving expeditiously to do so. Those are good comments. You want him to move quickly. We both have the tools, and we have the need and resolve to do it. No, not true. You don't have the tools to bring down inflation, because inflation tonight is being caused by gasoline, and you have nothing to bring down the price of gasoline. Only Joe Biden does, and the Western allies. By increasing, going out and buying gasoline to replace the missing gasoline is the only way you're going to bring down inflation. Raising interest rates doesn't do it. Let's go over the continuation of Jay Powell's comments. We hope to restore price stability on behalf of the American families and businesses. That's good. That's correct. But here he goes again with the 2%. Over the coming months, we'll be looking to compelling evidence that inflation is moving down. I hope so. And consistent with inflation returning to 2%. Is that happening? No. This has been the comedy hour of Jay Powell for several months. Now remember, Jay Powell's the guy who had it really wrong last year. In February of last year, when I was getting people big stimulus on this channel, like I am tonight for you later in this recording, I said that inflation is coming in at 8% in December and will not be temporary. Jay Powell said it's going to be smaller and temporary. He got it wrong. Then earlier this spring of this year, he said that he's going to bring down inflation by raising interest rates. He rose, they didn't come down. He rose, they didn't come down. What was his narrative then and his narrative today? That inflation is coming down to 2% later this year. Not happening. Says me back in February, now confirmed by Department of Labor and also the CBO. After Jay Powell said these comments before the Senate Banking Committee today, June 22nd, Liz Warren had her field day with Jay Powell. Oh boy, and was it good? It looked like a bad reality TV show where the nonsense came out of one of the stars' mouths, Jay Powell, and then the voice of reason, Liz Warren, took the microphone. And this is what she said. You know what's worse than high inflation, sir, and low unemployment is high inflation and a recession with millions of people out of work. And I hope you'll reconsider that before you drive the economy off the cliff. She was not mincing her words there. She was not mincing her words there. Do I agree 100% with her? Absolutely. She's basically saying we have high inflation now and we have low unemployment now. You know, it's not that low, but it's not that bad. 230,000 new jobless claims last week. It's not good. And we're going to see the new unemployment numbers tomorrow. But she says, is that worse than high inflation with a recession and millions of people out of work? What's she referring to? It was 1 million unemployment new jobless claims every week during the pandemic. More about that in a second. And I hope you reconsider that before you drive this economy off the cliff. Imagine a senator saying that to the head of the Federal Reserve of the United States. She's only saying that because it's true. Now, if you thought that was an oh my God comment, wait to hear Jay Powell's response. And you see this graphic, financial cliff, major warning. The warning did not come from Liz Warren. Guess who the warning came from? It's not me. I wasn't on the Senate committee today. It was from Jay Powell. Jay Powell reacted and said what Liz Warren said is a possibility. Here you go, folks. You got to get these stimulus checks right away. You got to get this money lined up right away. A calamity is hitting, and that train crash is just minutes away. It's certainly a possibility, says Jay Powell in response to Liz Warren's comments. It is not our intended outlook, but it's certainly a possibility. And frankly, the events of the last few months around the world have made it more difficult for us to achieve what we want, and which is 2% inflation in a still strong labor market. Who is that Jay Powell? That is a totally different Jay Powell. That is the Jay Powell I want to hear from. He basically said, I want something. I want 2% inflation. But the way this world is going at the moment, it looks like I might not be able to get it. And it looks like it may be a major possibility that we do fall off a financial cliff. Folks, if this is not something to get your finger to go under this video right now and hit that button where it says become a member of this channel, you need to right now. This is LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, heading to number 2 in the next 90 days with a brand new look coming to this channel. I do 3 things in every video, which you're seeing right now. I tell you where this economy is, where it's going, the financial cliff, and number 3, get you money to prepare for it. You need to get money tonight, and we're going to go over that money in just a second. Go under this video and become a member. Go under this video and hit that button to join the channel and become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, because in the second half of this video, I'm going to get you money to prepare for this financial cliff. Let's go over the financial cliff as I see it. Jay Powell didn't give us a guidance on dates, but he did now confirm what I said back in February. I said back in February that there's a storm out to sea, and that storm is about to touch land. Then, early this month, the most well-regarded financial mind of a bank, Jamie Dimon, head of JP Morgan Chase, repeated my comments verbatim. He said there's a storm out to sea, and the storm is about to touch land, or the storm is down the road, and the storm is about to hit. What's at issue is that storm is this graphic. Let's go over this graphic, and this is everything you need to know about your family and your household. What's at issue? What's at issue is that there's 3 phases of this economy. And those 3 phases of the economy that we're going through are number 1 right now, right now to September. Number 2, September to January. Number 3, January to 2024. During this current phase, You're seeing the slow implosion of the economy, which will speed up this implosion and will leave people blindsided. People will think they have a job stability and they won't. They'll be laid off. People think they have financial independence at home. They'll lose their homes and they'll lose their cars. And then September will hit, and that will shock the socks off of people. September will resemble the lockdown of March 2020. That is the financial cliff. In my opinion, if I was to put a date on the financial cliff, based upon Jay Powell's comments, based upon Liz Warren's questions, I would put it as September 1st. It may potentially come sooner. More about that in a second. That financial cliff is going to hit really badly because guess what? Congress is on vacation in August. There will be none of the stimulus back from 2020 available. Later this recording, I have for you 2022 stimulus. It's big. It's bigger, and you're going to be prepared for this financial cliff, but millions of Americans won't. And they'll look left and right to find assistance, and they won't have it. And then January 2024 will be the recession. In the United States, recession may already be overseas. What should you expect in the next 90 days? Well, in the next 90 days, unemployment is going to surge out of control. It's now 230,000 new jobless claims released last Thursday. Guess who predicted that? I did. It was at 200,000 the week before. I said 230. It came in at 229. Then gas prices will continue to go higher. Interest rates will continue to go higher as Jay Powell is going to raise interest rates to battle inflation. But inflation is caused by gasoline, and Jay Powell will continue to raise interest rates. And he'll continue to raise your price of goods. Recessionary winds will pick up. Mortgage rates will grow as well. Consumer confidence will slow more. Spending will slow, and income will slow. What you need to know is that gas is not going lower. Joe Biden's giving you $1 every time you visit the pump, but that's not even law yet. And what is $1 when you're paying $60, $100, $130 to fill up the tank? Inflation will not go low. In fact, action will not be coming from Congress. That's why you need to get that fourth stimulus check in this recording. It's coming up later in the recording. Go under this video, become a member. Get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then sign up for those LALATE alerts so that you do not miss the newsletter when it comes out. There's a lot of other data coming out today, this week, that you need to know. Later in this recording, we'll be going over those big checks. Thank goodness. Your checks are going up. But auto sales continue to slump, and they're going to get worse. Why? Because the auto salesmen, the hospitality, travel, leisure, and housing are all doing the wrong thing. What are they doing? They're raising the price of the goods to offset their cost. And no one is buying a car that is now $6,000 more than it was a week before. That's what Tesla did, and that's why their stock is down. Also, you can't afford the car because the rates are out of control. Housing continues to slump. We had bad housing data yesterday. We'll have bad housing data all week long because no one is buying a home that is now overpriced because the seller of the home builder wants to make a beautiful, greedy profit like they made last year when costs are going through the roof. Rather than absorb the costs and keep the same price of the home and get the home sold, they're not doing that, and they're going to lose their homes. The sellers and the builders are going to lose their homes. Also happening is hospitality and travel and leisure. Airline travel is dramatically down, 3% down month after month for bookings, and bars and restaurants are seeing a major problem. They're not getting consumers into the businesses because no one's going to pay for these higher prices. What you need to know is that with all this data at issue, what happens? What happens is that ultimately it becomes a snowballing of financial events. And this is why a recession is likely. We went over this early in this recording, but here's the graphic. As gasoline continues to stay high because Joe Biden does not go out and buy 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day, him and the Western allies, the consumer price index, the CPI, continues to stay higher. And that is an inflationary number released once a month. It was released last week for May. And as that CPI stays higher, the Federal Reserve says if the CPI is too high, I'll continue to raise interest rates. And as the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, we go in a recession. Just exactly like Liz Warren got it right. If gas doesn't come down, inflation is high, then the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates and we go into recession. Now, are Republicans understanding this either? No, they're not. I don't care what part of the political spectrum you choose. I don't care what part of the legislative or executive branch you choose. None of them are getting this right. And I don't think in the history of this channel I've seen anything like this. The president doesn't understand he needs to go buy gasoline 3 months ago. He doesn't stand it tonight. He doesn't stand it yesterday. He's not going to stand it tomorrow. The Democrats don't understand this either, and the Republicans apparently don't understand it either. Here's a comment from Senator John Kennedy, who's also addressing Jay Powell today during that Senate Banking Committee. Inflation is hitting my people so hard they're coughing up bones. He's thinking barbecue. He's a Republican from Louisiana. Good barbecue down there. Except when it's coughed up. We got a hell of a mess right now, says Kennedy. You're the most powerful man in the United States, maybe in the world. I hope the Pope's not watching. Well, no, he's actually not. And this is why this comment is really, what? The most important, most powerful person in the world is perhaps the person who has the gasoline for you to go buy. The leader of Venezuela, the leader of Brazil, the leader of Iran, the leader of Iraq, the leader of Saudi Arabia, the leaders of OPEC+. The other most important person in the world is what I've been saying. The person the Western allies need to choose to go buy the oil. To think that a Republican says a guy that's raising interest rates is the most important person in the world, and that raising interest rates is going to get inflation down, this is a Republican who doesn't understand the situation as much as the Democrats don't understand the situation. And while the senators don't understand it, so does the president understand it. What you understand is that there's two ways to approach this economy. With a wad of stimulus in your hand, ready to battle September, or if nothing. And there's one way to get that wad of stimulus in your hand, and that is to push. Stay with me over the second half of this video because we're going to go over those big stimulus checks for you in the second half of this video. Let me tell you why 2022 is not 2020. Why 2022 is not 2021. There's big stimulus checks in every U.S. state, which I found for you as this channel as they asked me back in the month of March, since the month of March. $80,000. Would you like an $80,000 for a stimulus check tonight? I bet you would. But it's not going to land by direct deposit if you don't do anything. It's not going to land if you don't learn anything. It's not going to land if you don't go get it. People who understand what happened in 2020 think they're an expert in the situation. You know nothing because that was 2 years ago. People who know what happened in 2021 are not an expert in the situation. You don't know what's happening now. It's different right now. And people who believe that they do nothing and they get big paydays are going to be in big trouble. That's not you. Later in this video tonight, I have a new added feature for my members, and you need it, and it was inspired by one viewer. Her name is Lorraine. I'll tell you that great new benefit for members coming up later in this video. But this is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's coming up in the second half of this video. Build Back Better Act. Viewers have been saying, what is the latest update on it? The latest update, and focus on me, make sure you understand this because I'll say it very clearly and very slowly. Build Back Better Act could make you go bankrupt. Why? Because Build Back Better Act is not sending you any money that you're going to get in your hands between now and September. There's no way it can get you money in your hands between now and September. And if you sit around asking, when is Build Back Better going to pass? When is the vote on Build Back Better Act? When is Build Back Better Act sending out checks? You're going to go bankrupt waiting for an event that's not going to happen to pay you in the next 90 days. My opinion of Build Back Better Act, it's going to pass. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be wonderful money. But it's absolutely, positively, 100% not going to get you money in your wallet. It can't. There's not enough time in the next 90 days. You need to rush and get the checks I have for you in the second half of this video. The average viewer of this channel qualifies for over, are you ready for this? $100,000 of checks in every U.S. state for stimulus checks, which I'm going over in the second half of this video. Did you know that when the pandemic hit in 2020, many viewers of this channel qualified for nearly $200,000 and got it? Did you get $200,000 then? You maybe didn't because you weren't watching this channel. Tonight, the viewers who are watching this channel qualify for over $100,000 on general from their states from forced stimulus. And I want to go over the latest details on this. It's in every U.S. state. You got to prepare for this money. It's coming from the president, and it's also coming from the states. The housing market crash is growing. We'll go more about that later in the second half of this video. Stock market crash continues to get some reprise today, but that reprise is not indefinite because We have a long way down till we hit rock bottom. This is not the bottom. This is just the downward spiral. And the second half of this video, we're going to go over all those incredible checks. Plus, we'll go over those new member benefits that are being announced tonight. Wow, you're going to love them. And I'm looking for your inspiration on benefits thereafter. I'll look for your comments in the live chat tonight as well. Plus, we'll be going over the raising up of your benefits if you're on SSI and SSDI. Become a member. Go right in this video right now and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Then get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time that has that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You deserve it. Over $100,000 a person are available. I'll see you back in 60 seconds. As America's most watched show for financial news in prime time continues, it's Evenings LALATE for June 22nd, 2022. See you back shortly. But first, here's the member community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. And the excitement continues right now in the big second half of Evenings LALATE. Have you gotten that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state? You're going to get it in tonight's second half of this recording. The big, exciting, great news is that this money is in every U.S. state. You deserve it. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did. Go right in this video and click the link. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. In tonight's recording, we learn how out to left field Jay Powell is, how out to left field Joe Biden is, the White House, Congress, Republicans, and Democrats. If that's not enough to scare the socks off you, I don't know what is. Tonight we learn the importance of the question how, not when. When is a stimulus check land in my bank account? Never if you do nothing. How does a stimulus check land in my bank account? You watch this video. And we go over all those incredible details starting right now. Back in the month of March, viewers said to me, LA, can you find us 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state? Build Back Better Act hasn't gotten done yet. I need checks right now. I love my viewers. They're right on point that understand the importance of getting money when it's available. And I found them. Big checks. These are checks for you. Listen when you hear your group called. If you're a single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, go get it. If you own, go get it. If you're a senior, go get it. If you're on SSI, SSDI, if you're a veteran, VA, go get it. RB. If you have children, if you don't have children, go get it. How much money are we talking about? On average, it's about $100,000 a person because I got a check A, a check B, a check C, and I got a lot of great news for you. And also stay to the very end because I got a new offer for my members' benefits coming up later in this videos as well. These are big payouts, and they were done by executive order by Joseph Biden and from the states. They're in every U.S. state. You don't spend 3 months to get these checks. You don't spend 3 weeks to get these checks. You don't spend 3 days. You go right on this video right now and become a member because we're going to go over these incredible checks starting right now. You get these checks because you understand the financial cliff that's coming to this economy is just 90 days away. And you have a great situation going for you. You have a pre-warning to get these monies right now. before the downward spiral of this economy is happening, let's get these incredible checks. You're ready? Let's go get check A. Check A is the very first check, and it is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, go get it. If you are on benefits, go get it. If you're a senior, if you're a veteran, go get it. It's called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. How do you get this incredible check? Step one, you go under this video and become a member. See where it says join this channel? Click that button and become a member. Then go down in the membership newsletter to where it's set to go open the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go right down to where it says, yes, check A. Click the link and it sends you into the nationwide website. Then choose your state, then choose the Weatherizing Grant. And you're ready to rock and roll. Would you like a $12,000 check? I bet you would. But you're not going to stop there yet. That's not how I teach it. I teach you to keep on getting checks until you're done. You're going to get check B, a $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. This is called the Homeowners Grant Check. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you are on benefits, go get it. How do you get this? Go into this video, join this channel, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, all the people in the live chat that have an emoji behind their name, they are members. Then open that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go into the newsletter down to where you see check B. When you see that newsletter, you see check B, you click the link. You go right in and apply. Sends you to the state, to the federal government. Then you choose your state. Then you choose, then you apply, and you're ready to rock and roll. Rounding times are about 1 week. Imagine a $15,000 to $80,000 check. The average viewer's channel is getting paid $66,000 to $80,000. Then you're going to go get check C. We talked a lot about check C over the weekend. It is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, more. If you watch tonight's later shows, you're going to see me talk about the importance of check C and relationships, the importance of getting check Cs on a daily basis, because this is where you're going to get hit really badly this winter. These are your utility bills, the heating oil, the gas bill, the electric bill. You got to start getting these bills paid today, doing rounds of these checks or a long period of these checks. 12 months, $2,000 a check is what a lot of viewers are getting, but at least get 3 to 4 months. Average viewerless channel has gotten 45,000. Now, the average viewerless channel is at 45,000, but a lot of viewers have gotten over 100,000. Let's look at their success stories starting right now. Those success stories date back to 2020, continued into 2022, into 2021, and continue now still into 2022. Those success stories feature people who listened, learned, and pounced. Let's look at their success stories for bouncing. $20,000 to $30,000 for rent. Would you like it? Go get check C. Become a member. Would you like $15,000 for utility? That's what Mark's brother-in-law. Go get check C. Would you like $25,000 a year over 10 years, $250,000? That's what Mark's brother-in-law is getting. How about combinations of these items? Well, Nisi, longtime member of this channel, she's nearly $50,000. She was at $23,000. She keeps on getting about $8,000 every few days. Now she's at $50,000. Mark, he was in the live chat last night. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? He went from $32,000 to $50,000 to then $100,000. Then he went to $166 because he got check B. Lorraine, she was at $105. Then she went to $120. Now she's nearly at $130. $130,000. How do you get check C? And I'll go back to Lorraine in just a second. For check C, it's much like check B and A. You go right into that membership newsletter. You go right down. You go under the video, become a member. You go right in the membership newsletter, which tells you where to call, who to speak to, and what to say for check Cs. Let's go back to Lorraine and what she told us last night and what I'm telling you tonight. It's a major breaking news announcement, and it's starting right tonight on Evenings LALATE. Lorraine told us last night that when she watches the videos, she takes notes, as I told viewers to do. That she started by watching this channel and taking notes every day that she watches the videos. And that she put the notes in a binder, and now that binder, she says tonight, is full. Full. Wow. She said, I want to tell you how proud I am of you, LA, because you've given me so much information. I now have a full binder. I love Lorraine's example. Why? Because Lorraine is watching the videos. She's taking notes about where the economy is, where the economy is going, and how to get stimulus. Covered in every single video every night. And tonight, a major announcement for members as well. Later this week, members will have a new added feature in the membership newsletter. And what will that new feature be? It will be a worksheets. Worksheets made by me for you. Those worksheets will be a series of blank pages with headings and logos on them. The headings will be things like gasoline, things like Federal Reserve, things like stimulus, things like the economy, so that you can print out the individual worksheets, put them on the table for you in front of you. And when you watch a video and you learn a little bit more about gasoline, you can take some notes. When you learn a little bit about the inflationary read that came in, or the new labor numbers, the new unemployment numbers, you can take notes. Separate sheets for different subject matters. All with the LALATE logo, all with the Purple Power logo, proudly with your hawk in the upper corner. You're going to love it because you will be able to do what Lorraine's doing. 3 things you should do every day. 1, you should watch the new videos on this channel. 2, you should take notes and know where this economy is that day. 3, you need to know where this economy is going, and you need to get stimulus checks every day. The efforts of Lorraine, Johnny, Margaret, Nisi, Mark are all the same. They hear what I say, which is get a check, get another check, and keep on getting checks. You want to, because tonight we learn a lot more about what's going on with the American public. Liz Warren and Jay Powell certainly gave us the news about that financial cliff today. They both agree with me that a financial cliff is coming. Whether you call it a storm out to sea like I did, or hurricane down the road like Jamie Dimon, we all have the same idiomatic expression. It's basically things are going to get really bad. That's another way to say it. And those things getting really bad may have a different time horizon. Ultimately, I can't gauge exactly how bad and when this bad situation will kick in. But with gas prices out of control, housing sales continue to fall, auto sales out of control, and that storm down the sea, I may be off by a couple weeks. Part of the problems is Europe. Europe, which is not one country, is causing a lot of confusion for financial analysts, including myself, because we don't know how bad they are just yet. They may be in recession tonight. A lot of financial analysts are fearing. And imagine if they're in recession tonight, then our recession may not come in January. It may come a lot sooner because they'll drag us in faster across the board. What you need to know is that there is not a lot of information out there for the American consumer to be prepared for the downfall of this economy. I got to tell you, this is what I fear, and generally when I fear things, they're generally right. I fear that separate from you and I, people who don't watch this channel do not know the following. 1, I don't believe they know that the benefits, the stimulus of 2020 don't exist anymore. I think they think that FPUC, PUA, and PEUC, all those unemployment stimulus still exist. They're gone. I think that small business owners believe that EIDL grants and EIDL loans are still around. They're gone. I think that people believe in the unemployment, in the labor market, that if they got laid off, there's another job, they can ask for salary raise, and they'll get even as hiring bonus. That's not the situation. I think they don't understand the severity of a hiring freeze. Hiring freeze has not been seen for a generation. It was last seen in the last recession. It basically says, do not apply at our door. We're not even taking applications. I don't think they realize that that's happening. I also don't think that people realize that interest rates will go so high as they're going to go. 3 quarters now, 3 quarters at the July meeting, 3 quarters in September, half, and quarter. Now, Jay Powell said today he's not against doing a 1 full point spike. Yeah. So if Joe Biden, you remember the graphic earlier in this video, if the gasoline prices don't go down, the CPI goes higher, then Jay Powell, would he do a full 1 point? He said today, if the data is like that, I'll do a full point. He doesn't say the situation's there just yet, but I gotta tell you, this man ain't doing anything for gasoline, nor is Germany, France, Italy, or any of the Western allies. And if they're not doing anything for gasoline, you need to get removal of that ARD. You need to remove in the next 90 days the following items from your household. They involve the following. get as much stimulus as you have, raise your savings, and remove your ARDs. Remove any adjustable rate debt instruments like car loans, credit card debt. Pay them off or switch them to a fixed instrument, because this is what's going to happen. If gasoline continues to stay high, CPI is going to go higher. That's inflation. And Federal Reserve continue to raise interest rates. And this time horizon may be a lot scarier than it is right now. Elsewhere, there are some Americans who think they literally know it all. And people who know it all generally know nothing. Those people think they know it all because the way they were paid stimulus from the federal government in 2020 or 2021. This is how I got it before. This is what happened then. It's 2 years later. It's 2 years later. This is 2022. This economy mirrors nothing of 2020. This is 2022. Stimulus is paid differently now. So if anyone's asking, when is this happening? When is that happening? When is it landing in my bank account? When is it being paid out for seniors? When is it that? That's a person who's not listening to this channel. That's a person who's going to be in big trouble financially. Ultimately, I can't record for someone that doesn't want to learn, because learning is earning in this recession. Learning is preparing to earn and being financially stable, as I care for you so dramatically. But if you believe that everything is an automatic pay-or-payee situation, you have a very, very scared awakening coming shortly thereafter. Now, let me tell you something else that's happening as well. The financial news spectrum has changed in the last 7 days a lot. Today, for the second night in a row, there are new stimulus stories out. You generally don't see 2 stimulus stories in one day. The stimulus stories are quite fascinating because they're referring to the pure stimulus check. The pure stimulus check that's sent to every walking human being, whether they're young or they're old, of any economic basis, really just anything. And the notion of the stories are that, if we have a recession, then maybe we need a stimulus check. You know how ridiculous that statement is. You know why? Because the recession is not happening this year, folks. The recession is not happening this year. The recession's happening in 2024. Can you survive to January of 2024 with no assistance from the federal government, no stimulus, and then get a $300 check in February 2024? Of course you cannot. That's ridiculous. That is why you get those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You get them tonight. You pounce and you keep on getting them day after day, week after week. You pile up that cash. When we look back at this graphic, when would you expect the stimulus stampede? That's an expression on the channel. It refers to basically when people realize they're in big trouble. When is the financial cliff going to hit? When are people going to get in big trouble? When are they going to suddenly not be able to afford bills, lose their home, lose their cars? When is that financial cliff that Jay Powell and Liz Warren spoke about? I believe it's September. Now to September, it's going to be a slow progression and then have a sort of an abrupt turn. But September is going to really look like the lockdown of 2020, the March 2020 lockdown. The recession of January, starting in January 2024, it will be more slower falling downward from September. So I think the rude awakening will be September. What does this mean for you? You got 90 days. You got 90 days to get as much stimulus as you can right tonight. You get as much stimulus as you can tonight. You get it. You save it. You remove all the other instruments in the household you don't need, like adjustable rate items. And then you get prepared with your family accordingly by raising savings and removing any of that adjustable items across the board. Meantime, great news on your benefits. Your benefits are going up, and this is also featured in the membership newsletter. In the membership newsletter, I explain now how your benefits are going up, and it's great. Your benefits are based upon the CPI-W released in the month of July, August, and September by the Department of Labor. And that number was released last week for May. Based upon the May number, the Social Security Chief Actuary, Joseph Goss, said, I believe that your benefits will go up, quote, about 8%, end quote, next year, based upon the May number, and him predicting what's going to happen from July to September. But I believe that if you look at the CPI-W, it's dependent upon gasoline. And if gasoline prices continue to surge higher, then that CPI-W will surge higher as well. CPI-W is a subpart of CPI. And last week, it blew the socks off of Wall Street. Came in higher than expected, a lot higher, 8.5% compared to a projected 8.3%. Why? Because gasoline went higher. Is gasoline higher this month? Yes, it's up 36 cents compared to the month before. And if gasoline continues to go higher, then the CPI-W goes higher. My prediction is your benefits could likely go up 9%. We'll know the data when we see it in July, August, and September, and we'll track it as a family then as well. There's a lot of tough love, and there's a lot that could be said. But in a night like this, you wonder how to make the recording. I mean, you really wonder how to make the recording. As soon as Joe Biden's comments came out from the White House, it was lunchtime here on the West Coast. I was having my American apple pie. I was having my American apple pie. No, there's no recipe for it in the live chat. I was having my American apple pie, and he said, I am giving the American worker some more breathing room by doing a tax holiday, federal tax holiday, for how much you pay at the pump for 90 days. And I thought to myself, oh, another one of those 90-day things. So immediately I was not sold on the 90 days. As soon as I heard the 90 days, I said, 90 days? What's 90 days? Why can't you do it 180 days? Just, the federal government needs some more money. According to Joe Manchin, we don't need it. The federal government doesn't need any more money. Why just 90 days? But then when I heard how much in taxes the federal government collects at the pump, it's 18.4 cents a gallon. I immediately said to myself, he thinks 18 cents is going to give more financial wiggle room, a little bit of breathing air to the American public. I don't know. I'm still choking. I'm still choking, realizing I'm only getting $1 off from Joe Biden. Most gas tanks are 10 gallons. Most gas tanks are 15 gallons or 20 gallons. If your gas tank is 10 gallons, he's giving you $1.84 off at the pump. $1. You gave me so much breathing room for the American worker. Just a little more breathing room to get through these financial times. Joe, it's times like this that I sort of really want to go off. I really want to go off because it's one thing to not do anything. It's another thing to do a fake narrative. And then it's another thing to do fake math. And to do math on a subject matter that even high schoolers understand. Every high schooler who's in the back seat of the SUV with mom and dad in the front seat driving looks at the gasoline pump when they're pumping it up and they say, my goodness, Mom, was that $120? Yeah, son, it's gone up a lot. How much is the president going to give us? $1 off. $1 off. That kid knows what $1 is off of $120. They understand it's nonsense. And so who's the president saying this nonsense to? I got to tell you, Joe Biden needs to fire that entire economic council. It starts with Brian Deese, goes over all of them. These are people who never really worked on Wall Street. These are people who have no financial really understanding. These are people that are just career politicians, career cabinet members. They have never understood how things have worked. And the more this goes on, the worse it's getting. I told you I had to solve the situation of gasoline back in the month of March. It's going in the month of July. Do you see it solving? I don't see it solving. Over in Italy, over in Germany, over in England, over in France, it's even a lot worse. Because they were so much more dependent on gasoline, their leaders are saying, we haven't bought you any oil, but go park your car. Excuse me? Go buy me some oil. No, go park your car. Their leaders are telling their citizens to start parking their car. Do you notice how this gets ridiculous? As someone doesn't deal with the situation, it gets worse. And it gets worse really badly. Imagine if your leader tells you can't drive your cars on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Did you ever see that in the United States? You did. It has happened before. Imagine you can't drive your cars on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. You can only drive your cars on Monday and Wednesday. And that you're assigned a certain day of the week you can drive your car. I'm not saying that's happening, but I'm going to say right now that no one is solving the situation on gasoline. Gasoline will go higher. No one's solving the situation of gasoline. The inflation is going to go higher. No one's solving the situation on inflation going higher based upon gasoline. Jay Powell's going to say, I got the solution. I'm going to raise interest rates. and then gasoline still stays higher, continues to raise the inflation rate, we go in recession. People lose their homes. There is no mortgage forbearance. People get evicted. There's no eviction moratorium. People lose their jobs. There's no FPUC, PUC, EIDL, or PEUC, or PUA. And people lose their businesses. There's no EIDL grant or EIDL loan. You see how serious this is? I love you. I love you to death, and that's why I come in strong. You are in a better circumstance, in a better situation, because you're a member of this channel. You're going to do 3 things every day and promise yourself you're going to do it. First, you're going to watch the videos and take notes. Second, you're going to learn every day where this economy is and where it's going. It's like a storyline in a bad soap opera. You can't miss a storyline or miss 5 episodes because you're going to not be able to catch up. And number 3, you're going to spend every waking hour beyond that getting checks over and over again. Congratulations to members of this channel. Coming later this week will be those worksheets. A worksheet that has in the upper right corner a subject matter like oil, the economy, the Federal Reserve, and you'll be able to print those out, put them in front of you, and take notes on them. It has a little LA logo in the upper right corner with your beautiful purple hawk, and you'll be able to take notes what you're learning on the video. Do what Lorraine has done. There'll be the Lorraines in this economy and the non-Lorraines. The Lorraines will be prepared for the financial cliff coming in 90 days. The non-Lorraines will not. They won't even know there's a cliff. They're going to fall off of it, and they're going to say, ouch, I've fallen. Someone come and pick me up. It's not like the clapper. This time there's no one to clap on, or whatever that was. You will not be a non-Lorraine. You're going to be a Lorraine and prepare accordingly. Moreover, if you like these worksheets and have other things you'd like to be added on the worksheet, send me a private message, and I'll feature that on this channel potentially. With that, God bless. Shows continue throughout the night with LATE Live every night on this channel, one of the most watched shows on the net right now. 5:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time nightly. That's 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Evenings Countdown at 6 o'clock. Evenings Extra at 8 o'clock. Stream Cinemas at 7. Sunset at 9. And Evenings LATE every night at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused. Stay very informed and very focused. Get every check you can. Learn about this economy. Get the money and stay on top of it. Stay where the money is and stay where the information is, and you will be better as part of this loving family that helps one another. It's Purple Power, and it's LALATE.